The skyrocketing fuel prices and the increase in value-added tax are some of the issues that top the agenda. For more on the story, we're now joined on the line by the national spokesperson for SACP, Alex Mashilo. Alex, thank you so very much for joining us this morning on Afro Breakfast.
Thank you very much. Good morning and to the viewers.
Well, as a start, what came out of the discussions between your organization and the ANC yesterday?
This was a continuation meeting of the Alliance Political Council attended by the senior officials of the ANC, the SACP, COSATU and SANCO. The focus of the meeting was on the state of our economy and the interventions that are necessarily required to move our country forward in the context of the problems that were experienced at our state-owned enterprises, in the context of the situation that led to a 1% VAT increase, and of course in the context of the necessity for transformation in the mining sector and other important economic policy interventions.
In terms of the high cost of living, I mean, you discussed the certain interventions that, the ANC and government as a whole should address. What were those interventions? I mean, I wonder what can be done about, for instance, the VAT and the price of petrol, which, of course, is on the minds and lips of many South Africans at the moment. What were some of those interventions that you think can be used to help the current situation?
At this moment, the process of the Alliance Political Council is still at identifying and correctly defining the problem statement. In other words, looking at what led to the situation and consulting and sharing information so that as the Alliance Political Council meets again, it will be in a position to say the following could be done. There was a suggestion at the meeting to establish an Alliance Economic Policy Working Group to process these issues. So this is still at the consultation phase. I am unfortunately not in a position to say the following measures have been identified and agreed to, because the issues we are dealing with or we are faced with are very sensitive, and we must avoid to stimulate, unnecessary hopes amongst our people. So the Alliance Political Council, at the end of this process, once it has agreed on measures that must be adopted, it will make an announcement at an appropriate time. We also are monitoring the work that is taking place in government to attend to the concerns that have been raised by members of the public, by different organizations, including COSATU, the SACP, and even the ANC itself, on the impact of VAT increases on our people, as well as on the impact of fuel price increases. Some of these increases, particularly fuel price increases, are driven by international market conditions and the international regime. For example, we are an oil import dependent country, and some of the prices, the increases in prices are not necessarily a result of endogenous factors, but exogenous factors. But there are issues such as the increases that were made in fuel levies that we need to look at. There are legislative issues that also need to be paid attention to, because there is a period that was agreed to in Parliament when the money bills were adopted. So those must be respected, but in the meantime, work must go on so that at the right time, when the right interventions have been agreed to and identified, they will be announced and implemented.